needs to be fixed, and a couple ceiling tiles in the women's room. So just to make it look decent, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Have you had a few rentals in the last couple of weeks? I
Yeah.
talked to Mary like after the first meeting, and she said there was 5 or 6, and then she said there were more people had called but hadn't committed. So I just wondered.
Oh my God, I got a lot of calls today, but a lot of them are non-residents.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're starting to call.
How many did you get today? Just
Today,
curious.
before Mary came in, I probably got about 3 or 4. Most of them were non-residents, some weren't. And then one came in today. She's going to book a wedding, but she had, and I have another one that's coming in this week for a big party. They're going to get the big room too. Those are 2 big ones.
Is that a non-resident or a resident?
They're all residents.
They're all residents?
Yeah, but the ones that aren't, we just tell them, we're not doing it.
Uh-huh.
There was one that, okay, so the girl that called was not a resident, but her boyfriend lives here. And so you have to have him sign the contract. He has to pick up the key. So it's a resident involved, and he gets to be responsible. So she's aware of all that.
And he has to be there.
And he has to be there, yeah.
Yeah, some of these things with the rental of it though, like having security there, things like that, I think we need to try to get that stuff implemented as quick as possible.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't know if you've read your email, Mr. Montello sent us an email just right before I left
no,
home.
I didn't see it.
He's got a family medical emergency issue, and he's not going to be here.
Mhm.
But that's one of the things, as you were all copied on my email to him.
Mhm.
Please say I copied you. This was several weeks ago,
Mm-hmm.
a few after our first meeting about the
okay.
ordinance, change
I think I
of
did
wording
see
in
that.
the ordinances.
Yeah, and John had just replied that he would look at
He was
it.
going to research it,
Yeah.
but at the very least, we can have changed, we can have him change the security
Mhm.
issue. And I know the mayor was going to talk to the chief and get the chief's response as far as there's wording in the ordinance that says the chief has the ability, based on the situation, to waive that security.
Right.
I think he's out of town right now,
Yeah,
isn't he? He's out of town.
but that should, Jennifer's right, that should be handled relatively quickly.
Right.
I think. And as far as the fees go, we need to look at that relatively quickly, and also, I think we're in agreement of hiring some part-time person to be there, you know, and I don't mean a kid, I mean an adult who's,
Someone to sweep the facility beforehand, make note of, oh, there's a fist that looks like it went through this wall or
Yeah.
not.
yeah.
Or
or even,
just to make sure afterwards too, that garbage is picked up, things aren't broken, heat isn't left on all weekend,
right.
things like that.
Right. So we need to advertise for that position. I don't see any reason why we couldn't advertise for that position after. I can bring that up at tonight's COW meeting
Mm-hmm.
and see if everybody's in agreement to do that.
Would-
And that would go into the cost of rental, that person.
Right. Now, would that be better for us to put out there at least for 2 people? I'd hate to have just one person and then they
I
get
wouldn't
sick.
say we need one person,
Yeah.
just put it out and see how many apply.
It could be on a rotating basis if
Oh,
we
yeah.
had 3 different people, because somebody's not going to want to work every Friday and every Saturday, so.
Yeah.
At one time we had the auxiliary police coming.
Yeah. Well, somebody
That's
who does the auxiliary police might want to do that,
Yeah.
and I was thinking about a couple of those people that they probably wouldn't have any problem driving up there and
We probably asked them first.
taking a look. Yeah,
Because- And they did help us out for a while.
yeah, and of course paying them to do it and all that. But even if, you've rented the place and something gets spilled, well, the muff's over there, you know, they know where everything is and all that stuff. So we'll ask COW tonight about if we can start asking for a part-time person and see what we can get in-house first
Right.
from our ops people, and then going out for advertising for that.
Does that have to be included in an ordinance?
No.
Oh, okay.
That 260, I'd have to look at it, but I think we've got the leeway and our part-time people, I may even have 260 in here. I think we've got the leeway to do that. I don't think, I don't even, you know, it wouldn't be a title or anything. Yeah, I've got 260 in here. Tax auditor, there you go. Parks and Recreation aides. I mean, it could just go under there.
Right. Right.
You know, and that's $9.30 to $16 an hour.
I would also from that, with either the security or that person, whether it's an officer or if it's whoever's going to be watching the hall themselves, that person's the only person that should be handed a key to the facility.
Yeah, I think that's right. They let them go and open it up and close it.
The only problem with that is they like to come and set up. So if they're setting up and then they're having their event at separate times, we used to just have the officer there during the event.
Okay.
So there's a
I
gray
see.
area there because
Not really,
they
because
could
that
be there
person,
12 hours.
that person could come in the morning, if they're setting up that morning, lock it up and leave and be there or the group is supposed to, like wedding.
Yeah, you could do that.
You know, they could do that. They don't have to sit there the entire time while nothing's going on. But,
Open up the building and make sure.
Yeah.
right, and again, to make sure that nothing's gone missing or broken in the interim and things like that.
Right.
Well, one good thing is, you know, when it's residents, I mean, I would assume that being that they're residents would be a little more careful with. No, huh?
No.
You've had.
Well,
you've
I've
had
heard
instances?
otherwise.
Really?
It's okay.
Yeah, this is really.
Okay. Samantha, that issue?
This question I would have is be for John. How soon can we get these changes made? A special COW meeting, maybe at the beginning of March. And when we do we have any leeway to make those changes happen with the rentals that are being held right now?
I would say with the rentals that are, if they've already signed, they've already signed.
Well, that's what I was
So,
trying to clarify for
yeah.
us, so.
It's
Yeah,
not sure.
yeah.
Well, even if they're in negotiation, I mean, I don't know how you could change it if they're, you know, they're coming to you with, in good faith, you have a number, change the number on them. I think it had to be burnt. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I said,
that
I think
motion.
that security and that other person is so important though, and maybe if we have
I
to bite the
agree.
bullet and pay for that, for those few times, you know,
Uh-huh.
maybe that's something that we should think about doing
Yeah.
then.
Yeah, I can, we can get a hold of John and maybe put it on for COW, have him do the search and all that, and the security person.
Mhm.
And as far as the fees, rental hall, small hall, and the community room, that's $100 residents, are we keeping that $100 fee? Are we raising it?
I think that fee's low for the bigger room and the nicer facility.
Yeah, I suggest that you raise it. That was one of the things we had talked about.
I wouldn't raise it exorbitantly, obviously.
No, but
Maybe $150, $200,
I thought 200 would be, you know,
for those people who have not rented.
Right,
Right.
right. Well, you know, you raise that up too, and if they, may give them second thought.
Well, they still have this room too.
And we also,
No,
what
I'm
about?
talking about second thought about making sure that the place is left
Cleaned
the
up
way
and-
you
Oh, well,
found it.
yeah, I think our deposits are currently what?
Deposits have to go up.
It's 150.
Oh, yeah, no, I think a deposit should be like $500.
Yeah, well, yeah, and you get, I check into a hotel at night sometimes and they charge my credit card $200. Well, you'll
Yeah,
get it back. you know,
Just
when-
looking at you, I could
Right.
see the shame.
Well, it's $39.95 for the room.
Say more.
So we'll get John to do ordinances and fees. Redo those ordinances for us. He should be able to do it by the next COW meeting.
I would think.
So we were talking about $200 for the small room.
Mhm.
This is for residents.
Right, resident-only pricing.
And $500 deposit.
Yeah, for either of those rooms, I don't think that that's exorbitant. It's a
I don't.
deposit you're going to get back.
Right, you're gonna get it back. I forget what they charge at the lake for the deposit, but it's, I don't remember, I don't wanna say.
Yeah, just, if they understand that the check doesn't get cashed, that it just, and, you know, it's, that's on the small room?
Yeah, the 150 didn't cover a lot of the stuff that was damaged.
Well, that's why
Oh,
I was
exactly.
bringing, I mean, that's the idea that, you know, that tell the people that are there, hey, you know, this is, we have a deposit here and we'll lose it.
Is there a different deposit on the larger room there?
That one's 200.
So,
Oh, yeah, no, that's got to go up more too.
yeah,
That's gotta go up.
350?
Well, the other one's
It's
500.
Well,
500 for the
500.
small room.
No, I mean, for the, what are you putting, I mean, what are you gonna, 750?
You could do that. They could write 2 checks, have 1 check handed back if it's going to be 500.
750 deposit.
We're not cashing the check.
That's
So
what
long
it's-
as
that's what-
everything's-
That's what she's, you know.
Yeah.
I
That's
mean,
fine, I
It
don't,
just
I
gets
don't
handed
mind
right
that.
back to you.
I
It's
would-
understood when you rent it that, you know,
Yeah.
they don't even cash the check, you get the check back, so.
What is it, 750?
750 deposit for the big room, and this is for residents. What's the current fee for the big room? I have it.
750.
750.
That's the current fee.
Mhm.
And non-residents are 850.
Is 750 fine for the big room for the residents? The small room would be 200 and the big room would be 750.
Yeah, that's
I
what,
think that's okay.
how do you,
I
you
know.
think
we
it's
can
low?
get-
Do you
Again,
think
this
it's
is a
low?
resident perk.
But this is the
Yeah,
residence,
You know,
yeah.
right.
I mean, if we were
could
go-
easily match other communities, but then if I'm thinking about, or Soren's thinking about having his wedding there, did I put you on the spot? See, we're not streaming.
Go ahead, good thing.
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
Everybody
yeah?
heard that.
You know, and that's the same price as somewhere else. He may not have an affinity to come over here, you know? I just want to give residents a break, you know?
Oh,
I
no,
think they should have
absolutely,
a break.
absolutely, that's,
Yeah, I think.
It is an amenity for the residents.
Right, and if we go with those prices, non-resident, I think it should be double.
Well, non-residents should pay whatever they're paying.
Right, or yeah, or if
There's
it's
not-
more
That
even.
should not be cheapened at all.
Yeah, I know that there's halls.
If we do decide to rent to non-residents, and that's where we'll get the direction
Mhm.
from the rest of council.
But
So-
there's halls out there, you know, I mean, granted, these are not community-owned, I'm not sure what those are, but it's 2,000 just for the hall,
Oh, yeah,
you know, just the hall. That's
Right.
not everything else and your caterer and,
right. The doilies and all that.
right.
Okay, so tonight I'm gonna ask about this, the part-time person, for, rec, to look after the hall when it's rented. if we can go out for that. We'll get John to look over these ordinances and redo the ordinances for the security. And the fees we just talked about, $200 for the small room, $500 deposit for the small room, $750 deposit for the big room, and $750 rental fee, and that's for residents. Anything else on that?
Are you gonna talk about non-resident fees or no?
Let's get, I don't want to waste the time tonight
Yeah,
until we get the direction from council as far as where we're going. I mean, we can talk about it. It's fine. We've got 50 minutes.
Right.
Non-resident, what is the non-resident fee for the small room?
I think it's 300 for a small room. And then the big room's 850.
300, 850.
Well, I guess if they say, okay, to non-residents, then give me the fees.
Right,
Yeah, we don't have to
exactly.
talk about it if we don't want to do it.
Well, the 300 should at least go up to 500 for non-residents.
Now, what if a business wanted to rent it?
Well, that would be during a day.
Yeah, that's what, one thing I would say for businesses, I would have two fee structures too, one for resident businesses and one for non-resident businesses. But if it was during the afternoon, I wouldn't charge these. I wouldn't charge $750 to a business to use it for 3 hours in the afternoon. That's just me. I don't know, what do you think about that?
I don't know what prices like that go for. Do you have any idea, Natalie?
And we used to rent it by the hour, so,
Yeah.
because other, you know, can do that too, but,
How much
We can-
would it be rented out per hour?
what's that?
How much per hour would it be?
I'm trying to think how much, I know we had a room that had a lot of AV equipment, it was like a theater type room.
Yeah.
It was like $50 for, I think, 3 hours or something.
Yeah.
And then we had 25 an hour for the smaller rooms that didn't have. Well, they had capability of AV too. They did. But a lot of
Do
people.
you want
using-
to spend some time doing some research on that?
Yeah, I
and
think-
see what, we'll do some research on.
Yeah, I think for that and also for the non-resident fees, you know, some comparable rates.
Yeah. Businesses. Okay. Anybody on the committee have anything else concerning that? Community interest survey update.
Oh, yeah.
Is it working now or trying to?
Slowly, but it's working. It's having issues.
I just made a few changes that you guys mentioned at the last meeting. Do you want to just point out which ones are different?
Sure.
So the first one in the activities, I added the baseball game, bingo night, and on another note, I talked to Walton Manor, and they're going to have a bingo night here, and they're going to invite the community. So,
Here at our place?
no,
Or
at their
over there?
place.
Okay.
They're going to offer something. She's
nice.
going to sponsor one of our lunches. So I'll get more details about that. I added father-daughter dance.
That's nice, yeah.
morning coffee, tea, pastry with friends. I did try that. It didn't work out.
We did, yeah.
Right.
But I wasn't here
It was
either.
during COVID too.
Yeah, and it
you
was
know.
when I wasn't here either, so I don't know
Yeah.
how it went. I added, well, I had sport event, like, for the bus trips, but I had Indians, so I had to change that to Guardians. So, and I did book a trip for this year for the Guardians.
Okay.
So under programs, I added after-school drop-off,
Mm-hmm.
and I combined computer and smartphone classes to make room. I did date night drop-off, exercise or dance classes I combined. Pickleball I added because Fred brought that up, and self-defense classes. Although there's a guy across the street that offers
Jeff, I mean,
self-defense, somebody over there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I could vouch for that, yes.
I would hate to compete with him, but
No, he may be interested in putting
teaching
one
it,
on.
okay.
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
On the special events, I added the block party at the event center, community concerts in the park. I added Easter bunny breakfast because I was considering doing something like that. Family day at the park. I combined tree lighting and holiday fest, and then the welcome new residents meet and greet.
Uh-huh, yeah.
And I changed the top to put it in the white mailbox.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I think
Or to-
people know that. Some people still ask, where's the event center? Some
Right.
people.
Or they could
Because they
email.
don't know, they just say community center, and if you say one thing or the other, they don't realize that's the same building. Yeah, that's fine, and it is, we talked, and Natalie and I conversed a little bit. You know, we get these back, hopefully we get a bunch of these back so we can get some sort of a valid interest survey.
Mhm.
But just because we do, this whole thing's a work in progress. You know, we don't expect, okay, next week, Natalie, here, have all these events. This is a work in progress, and we're here to improve the rec stuff as we move along, and we'll have, you know, if something seems to be a winner here, we can put it on, and we'll have to, you know, based on what we're gonna do, okay, now, who's gonna do it? Who's gonna put it on? Then we'll have to deal with those
Right.
issues, you know, and what time of day, is it gonna be a weekend, weeknight, and who's gonna actually do that? So then we have to deal with those
Right.
issues. So, good. Does everybody, go ahead, Fred.
Natalie, I have a question up that exercise and dance classes that, you know, you're gonna include the line dancing in that.
Yeah, I
Okay.
wanted to offer that, but, you know, they told me they didn't know how much they can make. So I'm kind of waiting on an answer on that. So-
Okay, yeah, because I have had people asking me about it.
Me
so-
too.
And I said, yeah, so, you know, so we're in the,
Yeah, I don't know if we're okay. I mean, we're only renting to residents, so I don't, and we have yoga, so.
yeah, well, I mean, it's just, I just have, it's basically the same people, but separate from
Yeah, it's the same thing.
the original group that I brought,
Mhm.
so.
Is everybody okay with me handing these out tonight to the rest of the council and
Sure.
Yeah.
Do you need more?
ask them, yeah, if you got like 4 more. we'll have
There's
a
one
couple
here.
extra.
Here, I'll give you the one that I have. This,
We can make that.
these are the changes, the ones that are asterisk,
Oh, okay.
so you can tell them. You can keep that, because I can get my own.
Yeah, just,
And I did talk to the Church for Christ.
Yeah.
He asked me to write him a letter and send it to him by
I'm gonna
email.
put that right there, that's my seat, so I'll just.
Oh, okay. And he hasn't gotten back to me. He's supposed to ask whoever is in charge of that and get back to me.
Mhm.
But they used to use the gym for the fire, police, and the service guys used to play basketball.
Mhm.
I thought it was for camp, but it wasn't. So I asked him,
Yeah, no, there was residents also that would,
oh, okay.
yeah.
Yeah,
have games.
That's
a-
the feedback I got back.
Residents would go like, I don't know if there's a women's but I do know men.
Yeah, no, there was a
go to
men's
ranges.
basketball night, and they would just, they'd meet up there, you know, it was like
So,
regularly
yeah.
scheduled.
So I did ask for, well, my interest was for the camp kids. So I wanted them
Right.
something extra to do.
Yeah,
So-
I saw that, that was.
Yeah, I asked about that. I
in the
asked
range or
about
something.
having the residents go out and play basketball.
Mhm.
And also to have a walking program, because I wanted to start a walking program this winter, but we'd be walking around the little multi-purpose room,
Yeah.
which can be cumbersome. So, because I used to do one in Independence for the seniors in the winter, we'd
Mhm.
walk around the field house. So I thought it'd be nice to at least walk around the gym, and they don't use it during the day.
Right,
So it would be perfect for winter. Of course, we would take that outside in the summer. So I don't have a problem doing
Great. Yeah, I skipped that. Apologize. That was the Dedham Road Church update. Do we have anything more on the, if council thinks this is okay, which I don't see that they would have, that everybody else would have any issue with the survey, we can stick this in the next journal,
Yeah.
next few journals. Keep it going for a while, you know, and then maybe somebody will see it, you know, in 2 or 3 months and send it in. All right. Do you have anything else, Natalie?
that.
Do
No, I don't.
you want to, what about you, Brad and
I
Jennifer?
don't think so.
Okay,
Not
so
right now.
to recap, tonight at the COW meeting, I'm going to give a recap of the Parker program. I will tell everybody about the event center, about some maintenance that needs to be dealt with as far as ceiling. The roof may come up. We'll have to do an assessment on that in spring. I
Yeah,
would
that may
imagine.
not want to wait until spring if we're getting damage, you know, now.
Well, yeah. Ask the COW about the part-time person for Rex and Park aides. If we can go out for that. We'll get John, and I'll send him another email stating that we'd like to have that done by the next COW and put that on the first COW of next month. For fees for the rental of the rooms for the residents and the security. And then we're going to do some research for non-residents rental of the rooms.
And the maintenance person, security and somebody for maintenance.
Yeah, that's what I meant, security and the maintenance. And we'll do some research for the business rentals of the rooms during the day. And we'll tell them about the activity interest survey and see if they like it. And then we can proceed with that in the next journal.
I did have one question.
Go ahead.
For the camp, are we going to 5 days? I wasn't sure if that was.
Yes.
Oh, 5 days,
Okay.
yes, 5 days. 5 days.
You were okay with that, weren't you?
Oh, yeah.
I thought,
We planned to do it last year, but because Maya was new, we thought,
Well-
let's just go. We'll do it the following year.
Right.
the email that we got from one parent, I should say, I don't think she's a resident, but was asking, I think that was one of the questions, so.
Okay. Does anybody on the committee have anything else? Do you have anything else, Natalie?
No.
No?
No, I don't think, the only other thing would be is unless Natalie recommends that they have to be at least 5 years old and have gone through kindergarten.
Do you want to recommend that?
I mean, there's a lot of changes. I didn't want to
Doesn't.
stir up the pot.
That's not,
That's not stirring the pot.
I think that's something
One thing I
that's-
found out about this job is no matter, you could do the most benign thing and you're gonna make somebody mad.
Yeah,
I don't
that's good.
care what you do, somebody's gonna get mad. So just.
It'd make our job easier to have them be
They have
in
to be
kindergarten.
through kindergarten?
It would make it easier.
And that's what most everybody else does. correct?
Yeah, everybody does.
Everybody does.
You have to go on through kindergarten before you can come to camp.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean,
Yeah.
that's,
Okay, we'll make that change, and I'll tell that, I'll state that to the, must be heard.
So see, Soren, you're gonna have to wait until your child is almost 6 instead.
That's gonna be a couple of years.
Probably 10 years or so.
Something like that.
Anybody in the committee have anything else? Nothing? Motion for adjournment?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion for adjournment.
second.
Motion for adjournment by Jennifer Allen, seconded by Fred Nielsen.
Yes?
Yes, that's from Jennifer.
Yes.
Fred, yes, and me, yes. Motion carried, and meeting adjourned at 6:28.
Who is wreaking
Thanks,
havoc?
thanks, Mike, I appreciate it, yeah.
Thanks for being here, Natalie.
Thanks, Natalie.
Just to see if it's the audio. It's still
Yeah,
streaming.
is that streaming?
It is still right now. Yes.
It's streaming now?
Yes.
Are
it
we
has,
on?
It hasn't been the whole like half the meeting.
Oh, really? We're on?
Yeah, it should.
Oh.
I don't know how well it worked, to be honest. But
Well, we didn't do the thing, so we didn't have anybody
I don't know.
texting.
There's 7 people. They weren't typing. There's 7 people watching.
Oh, good, okay.
So
Good. Did you put in there, can you put in there that, well, it's too late now, the meeting's already over.
there's. As you can see, the camera's having some serious issues just because
Because of that,
it's a laptop. It's just something. The update must have installed something even more. But you can see, like, look at the hands right there. You can see, there's lines appearing.
Oh,
Look at
yeah.
that ghosting. It's.
Can you, since that's done, is that done updating? Can you just
I
redo
I
that?
already did. It's not gonna help anymore. I don't know what they installed. Do you want me to end the broadcast?
Yes.
Because I mean, even if the audio is off at this point, look at this.
Yeah, no, in the broadcast, and then